If you got power, then you gotta show it off. I mean, just look at Disney. They managed to bring Hugh Jackman back as the MCU's Wolverine. Now, that's what Deadpool would call a gangster's paradise. R.I.P. Coolio. But when we're not talking about billion-dollar media tycoons, there's always our favorite Man of Steel to come to the rescue with his amazing array of powers. Look, everyone's a hardcore Superman fan here, and it's no surprise that you guys have shown so much love to my videos. So here I am with the top 10 Superman power demonstrations, Volume 2. Everyone's like, flash this and flash that, but guess what? Ezra Miller took it the wrong way. This is exactly why Superman is all the speed we need in a DC superhero, and if you ever wanted any proof, then check out the scene in Man of Steel where Kal-El shows off his speeding powers in style. He takes a moment to soak in the expectations and takes even lesser time to exceed them. The blue latex alien boy takes off and moves so fast that he literally creates sonic booms each time he changes direction. Forget rocket ships, I think Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos should invest in Kryptonian superheroes. The sheer magnitude of his skills is ridiculous because Kal-El moves from space to Earth in just a matter of seconds. Forget faster than a speeding bullet, Superman's faster than just speed itself.
How do you find someone who has spent a lifetime covering his tracks?
Gandalf might not let you pass, but Superman sure will. If you've seen Volume 1 of this series, you'll know that Clarke Kent kicked things off in this scene by lifting the entire San Andreas fault all by himself. But it doesn't end there though, because he follows up by rescuing a school bus full of kids, and if that wasn't enough, he must save a train from going off the rails as well. You'd imagine that Superman would be super tired by now, but no, this dude has enough strength to lay down on the broken rail and lift the other one up so that he can take the full weight of a speeding train. This kind of strength and endurance is unheard of, especially for modern superheroes. I mean, the only type of multitasking we see nowadays is a Gen Z brat eating Tide Pods while watching a TikTok movie. I gotta say, they don't make them like they used to. Surviving a nuclear bomb is something that most people would consider to be impossible. I guess that's why they had to keep a leash on Christopher Nolan during the making of Oppenheimer. However, these are simply the limitations of mortal beings because this moment from Batman vs Superman subverts all of our expectations. The big baddie Doomsday has been set loose and seems to be a bit too strong for the Man of Steel, so he takes him to infinity and beyond. Alright, I was exaggerating there a little bit. He just takes the monster to outer space, which is a super flex, but then the duo's attacked by a nuclear missile that explodes right upon impact. Luckily, it's got to take a lot more than that to take down Kal-El because he just floats into space and waits for some of those yummy sunny rays to power up and get back to business. Now, if you want context, this blast should have been able to destroy an entire city at the least, and all it did to Kal-El was knocking him into a nap. Every man was once a boy, and that holds true even for Clarke Kent. The Boy of Steel is getting bullied by one of the class meanies, but suddenly there's an accident because of plot purposes and the bus begins to sink. That's when those superhero instincts kick in and Kal-El lifts the bus out of the water and even goes back inside to save the bully who was making fun of him. Now, this isn't just a physical display of power, it also shows Kal-El's maturity even at such a young age. I suppose Superboy did have years of experience before moving on to his big boy pants. Also, how old does Superman have to grow before we get to see him go from daddy to granddaddy? I mean, I wouldn't mind some grey hair. We've already seen how epic it looked on Henry Cavill in The Witcher.
Come on!
I know people say that violence is bad and stuff, but let's be serious here. Every show out there on Netflix and Amazon has got loads of it. Even the family-friendly stuff on DC and Marvel never shies away from the punches, and Superman's supreme whooping of Steppenwolf is testament to that. The horned villain wrecks the Justice League and is about to have the last laugh, but then Superman arrives to give him the last yawn before he absolutely violates the monster without mercy. First, he breaks his trusted axe with his frost breath, then he throws down a couple of punches, and to top it off, he lets out his laser eyes to destroy destroy one of Steppenwolf's horns. This is sheer dominance, unlike anything we've seen before, and yet Superman makes it look as if it's just a walk in the park. You might even say it was a PG-13 version of Omni-Man versus Invincible.
I am better!
Brandon Routh strikes again, and he does so in my top 5. This is probably one of the most memorable scenes in the entire movie, as Superman shows off all his powers to save the Daily Planet. Yep, you name it and he does it. Whether it's his frost breath, laser eyes, super strength, super speed, or super hearing. The highlight is obviously seeing Clarke Kent lifting the Daily Planet's giant ball to save the grounded civilians, and you can't help but wonder if the dude was doing his job or just flexing his powers. I mean, hey, if Homelander can do it, then I'm sure his more legendary counterpart can do it too. The only difference here is that Superman saves people. That's right, he's stronger, he's smarter, and you know what? He's just better. Superman was a boss even before he discovered all his powers. Don't believe me? Let me explain. Clarke Kent is just going about a seemingly normal day at work, and then boom, the entire oil rig explodes and things are going south faster than She-Hulk's IMDb ratings. That's when the Man of Steel shows off his strength and holds off the collapsing structure long enough for the rescue chopper to take his buddies away. And just to remind you here, he's already guided his co-workers through scorching flames and is engulfed in the same scorching heat as he just chills with the pillar. Yeah, sure, the entire structure collapses soon after, but you've got to remember, the Superman doesn't know he can fly at this point. Keeping that in mind, this is a solid scene and a powerful demonstration. Well, at this point, it doesn't matter what age he is, Superman will always save the day. It's not even been a few minutes since the alien baby has landed on Earth, and he's already saving his adoptive dad by lifting his truck when it falls on him. Firstly, I've got to mention that Jonathan and Martha were super sus for sneakily adopting an alien baby. Like, have you guys not seen Brightburn? That kid wasn't too different from Kal-El, and look what happened to his parents. Oh wait, that movie was a rip-off of this one. Anyway, Super Baby shows his mommy and daddy that he's got a lot more than just a cute face, and I guess that the Kents figured that they wouldn't need to spend too much money on home security, so they just went with it. Kind of like the whole two birds, one stone concept, except this time the stone is freaking Superman.
We want to make him abide by our rules. We have to start thinking beyond politics.
Are there any moral constraints on this person we have?
Us humans sure love to dabble in political controversies as if it's compulsive addiction, kind of like Robert Pattinson and weird eyeliner. As the crybabies of the world complain how jealous they are to be mere mortals living amongst the god, Superman casually saves a giant ship and drags it through the ice caps using nothing more than its anchor's chain. Like, what kind of strength does Kal-El possess? This is on the same level as Hulk's Leviathan punch, or could be even better. Where was this guy when the Titanic sank? He could have made Jack realize that Rose wasn't the one for him. The entire scene is basically Superman saving people with his powers, while the politicians discuss the ethical nature of his vigilante actions, which is kind of silly, you know, but very relatable if you consider all the real-life geniuses controlling our government today. Man, I wish I could vote for Superman to be president.
That we're not even special in the entire universe because there is Superman. There he is, an alien among us. We're not alone.
Clarke Kent will remain an eternal simp, and there's nothing you can do about it. As Lois Lane falls off a building, her lover boy makes a quick switch up around a revolving door and comes to her rescue in typical Superman fashion. Of course, it isn't enough to just save his girlfriend, so the dude also picks up the falling helicopter with only one hand. I mean, honestly speaking, this is just as much of a flex as it is a power demonstration, and the look on Lois's eyes pretty much confirms it. See, I don't want to make too much fun of Margot Kidder's performance here, but she reminds me of Winona Ryder's facial expressions at the SAG Awards. But hey, at least she gave Superman some of those puppy dog eyes. I wish someone looked at me in the same way.
Something wrong with the elevator? Oh, they say confession's good for the soul? I'd listen to this man.
And there you go. Those are my top 10 Superman power demonstrations, Volume 2. Like, share, and subscribe to show some love, and head over to the description for some exclusive links. Alright then, I'll see you next time on the TV Regent.